G'day again. So a couple of days ago I did a video about how Melbourne has changed, and I think it has changed a lot over the past say 10 or 15 years. So today I was driving my car and a news item came on that apparently a couple of kids last night, 16, 17-year-old kids, followed a guy in a car. When he stopped, they carjacked him as soon as he stopped, and they had machetes, so they knocked off his car. And that sort of thing seems to be happening a lot. And also there's a lot of violence with machetes, with teenagers especially around Melbourne. Like they break into homes, they steal cars, and then they sometimes they fight each other. But they're using machetes a lot, which is really bad. So when I was growing up, none of that was, that would never happen in Melbourne, that's for sure. And now it's like happening so often. At least every week, sometimes a couple of times a week, you turn on the news and there's a story about some machete being used by some kids, and the coppers eventually get them, and then they lock them up, and then like the next day they get out on bail, and then they do it again. So it's just, I don't know what we're doing wrong, what we have to change, but they're just getting out on bail time after time, and they commit these crimes again. So hopefully this quick little video that I put together, I just jumped on Google and did youth crime Melbourne machete, and these things popped up, and there's a lot of them. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and hopefully it gets better, because it's not good. All right, thanks. Speak to you soon. Bye.
A new push is underway to ban machetes from being sold in Victoria to crack down on youth gang crime. It's one of a range of measures under consideration as shock data reveals a spike in offences being committed by accused offenders while on bail.
Already on 2 sets of bail when he allegedly wielded a baseball bat in a violent group attack.
Oh, they've already stabbed him. Where? They stabbed him in the back. Holy shit. Holy shit.
A 16-year-old boy has been given another chance, bailed for the third time.
Bail in Victoria has become a joke.
Rochelle Brown is in Melbourne, where there are calls tonight to outlaw machetes following a rise in attacks. Rochelle, new laws could be on the way.
Gemma, the state opposition plans to introduce a new bill into Parliament which would see machetes added to the long list of prohibited weapons. It comes after a growing spate of attacks in Melbourne involving machetes and suspected youth crime gangs, including an attack at a train station in Melbourne's west on Monday, where a teenager was threatened by a group of youths in front of dozens of commuters.
A North Melbourne mother is pleading for peace after her teenage son was ambushed in a late-night machete attack. The 14-year-old underwent surgery to save his hand as the gang responsible remains on the run.
A teenage boy has escaped injury after two thugs with machetes chased him outside a school in Melbourne's west. Other students forced back into their classroom have told Gillian Lantouris the attack may be in retaliation to the death of a 16-year-old in May.
Shopping centre safety is back in the spotlight tonight after a machete attack inside High Point. Rory Campbell, it's the second stabbing there this week.
Mitch, shop owners say it was a terrifying experience and they don't feel safe.
A wild brawl inside a busy Melbourne shopping centre has raised new security fears just days after the Bondi massacre. This time it was teens armed with machetes and axes. Cameron Bowe has the latest, and Cameron families were forced to run to safety.
Peter, there were families dangerously close to the wild brawl. Charges have been laid. A 15-year-old and a 16-year-old are facing charges of affray and weapons offences.
Bloody brawl involving machete-wielding gang members at a Melton shopping centre.
Weekend stall holders have been put on notice, with teens flocking to markets to illegally buy machetes and knives. As youth gang violence erupts on Melbourne streets, some police are calling for tougher penalties for any minor caught carrying an edged weapon. A machete-wielding intruder has run off in his socks after smashing his way into a Keilor East property and ditching his shoes in the lounge room. Machete-wielding teens on a wild rampage in Melbourne's north have smashed into an innocent motorist, driving one of 2 cars they'd stolen. 2 of the offenders are in hospital, while 2 are still on the run.
A brave family has fought off masked men armed with machetes during a terrifying ambush in their Brighton living room. The attack was one of 3 home invasions across Melbourne that police suspect may have been carried out by the same gang.